everything I rap, everything he makes musically, it is what we are at any given moment. It's not anything other than that. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. If what we're experiencing is dark, then that's what you were gonna hear. If we get rich and famous, you guys are gonna hear like some Benny Blanco, Ariana Grande shit. I promise you.
The moment that big fat check hits, I'm on that Tom McDonald time.
Microphone check 1 2. What is this? It's the 5'7" assassin in the podcast business. I am your host, Rohan Patra, the rap music plug at your service.
Here we are again at the end of the rainbow.
The fiery, no-hold-barred spirit that today's guests, Infinity Knives and Brian Ennals, showcase in each and every track of theirs is something that you can certainly expect to hear in this upcoming conversation. As fierce truth tellers and creators of bold clashes of sound, we had a sprawling conversation that covered everything from bad faith criticism they've received, their ambitious sound and unique group dynamic, the difficult process involved in making their new album, A City Drowned in God's Black Tears, and much more. This was a super fun and entertaining conversation. These guys are really great dudes and really funny, so I know you'll enjoy this. And as a reminder, if you are in Toronto on April 17th, Premrock plus friends will be performing at Basement 254 with some DJ support from yours truly. So tickets are in the description for this episode. Make sure you check it out. And now let's get into this episode. The Rap Music Plug podcast presented by QLC TV is the remedy to the I don't have anything good to listen to problem. Through in-depth artist interviews, album reviews, and general rap commentary on the best that the underground rap scene has to offer, this is your one-stop shop to knowing what to add to your queue, play next, or pop into your record player. Welcome to the show.
Let me start. Let me start off with saying that I don't know. The word autism gets thrown around a lot these days, but
Oh man.
Oh yeah, it's a big Gen Z
Don't-
thing.
I don't-
Sprinkle
I
of
don't
tism.
want- don't make me talk about autism. But go ahead,
Yeah.
Tariq. I'm sorry.
well, I mean, Brian, I'm pretty sure that you anyway.
Nigga, you watercolor. You were absolutely autistic.
Yeah, I water, dude. I not only do I watercolor, I do every piece of art there is known to man.
Yeah.
Like, and I can't hold a job.
It couldn't pass high school. Like that's
I couldn't
autism.
pass-
Like
yeah,
right there.
But no, I've been deep diving into Brian's family.
That's
leading
his new hobby. That's his new hobby. It's
No,
hilarious.
no. But
Wait,
here,
what do you deep dive into Brian's family? What?
like his family, and his family came here in the
The Ennals family history from the Eastern Shore of Maryland. But go ahead, Tariq.
Brian's family like seriously has like shaped Maryland, like the state of Maryland that we lived in, that we live in right now, and they've been here since the 1600s.
Yeah, mid 1600s.
Yeah, and there's like everybody fought in world wars, and they were literally like well, first of all, Harriet Tubman is the one who saved Brian's family, which is like crazy to me because she's one of the greatest Americans alive. Brian never talks about that, but I looked through the whole genealogy, and I'm like, God damn, like everybody in Brian's family, at least like there was one person in Brian's family that was involved in some sort of like major legislation towards equal rights for the civil rights
Right.
or of some sort. And do you know a Buddy Ennals, Brian?
It's like my grandfather's brother.
Yeah, that Duke's brother.
Yeah, it's Duke's brother.
Yeah, man. He was a badass.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, he was like a vet. He was like a Vietnam vet, like Brian. And then you get Brian, the crackhead, trying to be a rapper. Yeah, but I don't know. It's very interesting to me because I don't know. I really kind of don't know where I'm from.
It's basically. I think you're interested because it's the opposite of you.
Yeah, it's the opposite of me. Yeah,
It's the opposite.
You can't trace me back anywhere. I was raised by so many different families that are not blood related, and it's just nice to know. It's just so because like you can trace Brian's shit back before America was even a country.
For
That's
sure.
crazy.
You know what I mean? Like and like the most influential family, one of the most influential families in Maryland is Brian's family. As far as civil rights goes, you
Mm.
know, from like Harriet Tubman until the you know when the riots and all that shit with um you know when they were rioting, you know,
My dad was into it. You know, Angela Davis came to Cambridge
Angela Davis, that's what's her
and
name. Yeah,
in the late '60s. And that's when my dad and my grandfather was rolling around, had pistols in their hands, and
Wow.
everybody was just going for it. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
like at that point, you know, they were never. I know my dad personally. Like there was never when you're in a more rural area, whether it's Mississippi or whatever, and you don't have the numbers. I think why people were more intimidating. But my dad was never scared of the
Well,
white
they're
folks.
spread out. No, Mississippi, there's a lot of black people, but everybody's
But
spread
they're
out.
spread out. My dad,
Mm.
you know, they had like niggas behind them. So it was like now we ride. Now it's time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let's go. Let's fucking do
Like
this.
let's go. Let's fucking do it.
Yeah, I'm too tired and depressed for that shit. Plus,
Well,
they got,
I mean,
they
and
got
we're
drones.
old. When we're old, my dad was 17.
Yeah.
He
What's
was
that?
a kid.
What's that Tupac quote that's about like something about like you need to I'm not even gonna try to quote it, but he said something on a song about how like you gotta make change or whatever before like 30 because once you're 30 you just start to get tired and you're not physically fit enough to even try to rebel. Like I don't know, he said something like that.
I don't
It's
No,
know.
relevant.
that sounds
He probably
Tupac-ish, yeah.
said it like
Yeah. He was like, we got to do this while you're young because like when you're older, you're just not gonna be able to.
Well,
Like you're not gonna have the energy.
I lived in South Africa for a little bit, and one of my and I went to madrasa, which is like basically Muslim school, and one of the my mulanas was he used to riot during the apartheid times, and he was like, yeah, you know, I did that because I had no kids back then. Like he's
Right.
like, you
Right.
know, I had no kids, had nothing to lose, and we were just fighting for freedom. But like right now, I have kids. I can't be politically active. You know, it just completely changes your sort of. I have no kids. I do have a dog, and my mother works with the government, so I try to sort of tone it down.
Mm,
You know,
that's fair.
I mean, you know, I'm not saying anything that's not true. You know, if anything, I'm not saying anything. I'm just providing the music for Brian. To
Yeah,
start-
technically your hands
yeah.
are clean.
My
Yeah,
hand-
but Tariq can just be like, hey, man, I make beats. This guy goes into a separate studio and fucking records, and I tell him it's not cool, and he does it anyway.
He holds me at gunpoint and then he tells me to
Like, that
release
old
this
shit.
music.
Yeah, man.
yeah, man. Look, I'm a composer. I wanted to make music for fucking indie films before film industry started dying. You know,
Yeah. But no, all jokes aside, you know what I mean? The process is obviously very collaborative with us. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever ideas we have, whatever I am rapping about, it's something for the most part that we discussed beforehand. You know what I'm saying?
it's just like it's mind-numbingly exhausting after a while. Because it's a lot of conceptual shit that we need to and logistic shit and but yeah I mean every time I release an album it's just like I'm just like get this like big giant wave of depression afterwards, which is where I'm at right now. And we're definitely being throttled, you know, given the subject matter of the record.
100%, bro. Like we got a big shout out from FD Signifier. So shout out to him
Yeah,
and
he's
his
dope.
YouTube channel. We went from, you know, we dropped it. FD Signify, I think, picked it up, if I'm not mistaken, the second day. And we jumped to like 5K, 4K, like automatically.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And,
yeah, like
and
we went
and
from like
each day,
1,000. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
yeah. And each day after that, we tallied on probably like another 1,500 for like 4 days until we got to about 9.4K. And then it stopped.
And then it stopped, and then we got a bunch of like Zionists commenting on there, you know, calling us like Nazis and shit. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it was like the iron wall really hit an iron wall, man. It was bugged out.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, it's just the powers of meta and all that are sort of. I really didn't want to fucking make a fucking political record, and that's like what me and Brian were talking about, like like as we were writing and getting shit together, but like it's just something you can't, you know. I mean, dude, Israel fucking sucks, dude. It's just like it's just a horrible place. I don't give a fuck if like there are nice leftists out there. It just like shouldn't exist, just like America shouldn't exist. But like, it's just, I mean, there. I don't know. I I've said all I can to say
Yeah,
about that.
yeah. Well, what is there to add to it? You know what I mean?
Is that like, was it the type of thing where like you said, you didn't really want to make an album that was much like politically charged, but just
Oh
shit
yeah,
just
then
kept
I focused.
happening and you just kind of had to talk about it because it was just on your mind?
Well, so I grew up Muslim, and I already knew the bullshit between Israel and before the majority of the world knew what like how evil of an empire Israel and America was. And I came to the States like shortly after 9/11, 2005, like at the height of the Iraqi war and like this anti-Arab sentiment, and not even Arab, you know. Uh, so it's always been something that uh, I've always seen. When people talk about like these, man, I wish I could go back to those days, like like Lollipop and Candy Shop by 50 Cent, and I'm like, yeah, but Abu Ghraib to
Mm-hmm.
Guantanamo's. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, and so so now that I have a platform, I just felt the need to, albeit a small one, I felt the need that we should have made a political album, despite
Right,
it
right.
flopping, because it's the critics love it, except for one dude who
I heard on Twitter you
You,
talked about that.
Brian was like, "Don't say anything, man," and I was like, "I don't care."
it's just like my thing is I just don't want to come off like Eminem in 2001, where like half your rhymes are like, but the critics are against me and I'm just a hero. And it's
No, no,
like
no, no,
nobody.
no, 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 no. What really upset me is that he didn't
It,
listen
it,
to the
it was
album.
in bad. It was the article. If you really look at what he was saying, it was written in bad faith. You know
It
what I
was
mean?
really bad faith because he was conflating every song with like, because we have a song about the Iron Wall,
Mm-hmm.
the main song, and then he was like, well, actually, Netanyahu was born in Israel. He just went to school in Philadelphia, and they also make fun of Jack Harlow, and it's like that's not the same song.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I
Yep.
mean?
It's not the same song.
Sometimes you do get amped up and want to do something to Jack Harlow. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
pretty.
I
It's
yeah.
mean,
relatable as fuck.
yeah,
Why are you defending Jack Harlow? You fucking.
yeah. Why are you acting like it's weird to diss Jack Harlow? Like everybody should be dissing Jack Harlow
And also, it's like people diss fucking rappers all the time.
all the time.
And you didn't
It's
really
the
say
game.
that politically. You just said fuck just Jack Harlow. Like, it was nothing related to anything. It was not a deep diss. It was just fuck
Different
Jack.
song. It was a completely
Yeah.
different song.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah. It's like later in the
what he
album.
tried to do is conflate my idea of like fuck these presidents and this lineage of genocide. He tried to conflate that with me dissing Jack Harlow as if I'm like scatterbrained
he's a fucking
or
Tom.
I'm just like
Mhm.
or I'm just
I
picking
want
a
to
thing.
meet his
You know what I
white
mean?
wife.
So
I bet you he has a white wife.
I want to meet his white Jewish wife. Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Who was like, oh my God, what dear Lord. What are
Does he
these?
know that? Does he know that Jews are actually from Judea?
That's like, no, that's literally one of the comments on one of our videos.
No, I saw it last week. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's like no, you guys are from Poland. Like, I mean, like there was like 7 like Jews in Palestine. There's like 10 of them, before 1948. Then all of a sudden, a bunch of weird white-looking people showed up post World War II, and then acted like they've been there the entire time, you know. And I'll say it with my chest. Don't care. No, say what you want about me.
Yeah, I
They're
mean that's totally fair. Like with an album as explicit in its messaging as this one is, like how did you hope listeners would respond to hearing this? Like did you want them to feel anything, learn anything, or you just want to get this shit off your chest because it just needed to be said?
All of it, but I'd expect a critic to respond. What is that word when
Constructively?
well, like he strawmanned us. He
Mhm.
strawmanned our argument. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And he made an argument that we were. He argued against something that we weren't saying. You know what I mean? And I don't know, but yeah, everything.
I just I think why this album is so different from King Cobra in a lot of ways is that while we were aware that obviously this would have more eyes on it because of the previous record, I don't think we thought that much about it. Like, we didn't think, how are people going to respond to this? Are people going to dig this? Let's do this record for the people. Let's do this look for the people. Like, to its
Absolutely.
to its benefit and to its detriment, this record was made totally in our Tariq Bryan vacuum.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
just like,
I mean, but that's always what
but that's kind of like that's kind of like our thing. I think, I'll be honest, King Cobra. I think I thought about it a little bit more because we wanted to branch on from what Rhino had did. But this one, because of the year we had, and not to get into too many details, but because of how 2024 shook out, we just didn't give a shit, man. Like, especially when you do a song like Iron Wall, and that's the first song you put on the record, you're clearly not thinking about, what the audience is thinking. Hopefully they'll dig it, but if they don't, they don't. I mean, we can't. You can only make the art you can make. You know what I mean? And then you put it out there, and it is what it is, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. I just want people to stop fucking killing kids, and I want those white people out of Palestine, and I want them out of Spain.
That's what everybody should want, really.
To go back to fucking Poland and Hungary, have them deal with that bullshit over there.
And when you talk about like the mind states that you guys were in, I know like something that you had talked about like really briefly when we were trying to set this up, like how did that just like, because I know you guys were both in like some like pretty dark places, like how did that influence the tone of the record or the recording of it, anything like that?
I mean, that's you're hearing that on the record. We don't make let me say this. We don't make songs outside of ourselves. You know what I mean? Like, everything I rap, everything he makes musically, it is what we are at any given moment. It's not anything other than that. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. If what we're experiencing is dark, then that's what you were gonna hear. If we get rich and famous, you guys are gonna hear like some Benny Blanco, Ariana Grande shit. I promise you.
Yeah, bro. The moment that big fat check hits, Tom McDonald. I'm on that Tom McDonald time.
Oh my god, that'd be ill. I'd be ill. Here's some Tom McDonald.
Like, you know what? I was led astray by these radical leftists, Hillary Clinton,
George Soros, man.
And George Soros and Kamala and all these super duper left.
Yeah. What's the big deal with picking cotton? I be with Trump, steady plotting. Boom, boom. That's the jam right there. I saw it online. I saw it online last week. There was some white guy. He was like going to a cotton field. He's like, "This is what they were complaining about."
Yo, that's crazy. Oh my god.
I had my friend, rest in peace, man. He was recently murdered, and I saw it on a meme page because there's like a Baltimore like a tabloid Instagram page. You remember that? Brian?
Yeah, there's a tabloid Instagram. It's Murder Inc. Baltimore.
Murder Inc. Baltimore, where they talk about like just the gossip around the city, and
it's basically gossip around each murder.
Yeah, exactly. Well, my friend, who was a very good guy, he actually went down to pick cotton, and they treated him really, really fucking well because so what they do is they bus you down to like wherever the South, and at the time it was he was making like $23 an hour for, and that was maybe a decade and a half ago. So that was a
Mhm.
lot of fucking money. And they set him up with a
Uh,
hotel, and he was like, "Man, if they just had to paid us to do this, like I would have done it for free, or not for free, but I would have done it, Um, but yeah, rest in peace, Danny, man. He was a really good dude.
and just to be clear, picking cotton fucking sucks. I don't care what Danny said.
Well, he was getting paid $23 an hour.
Yeah,
Well,
At the time.
23
USD a
23
decade ago is a lot. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of.
$23 an hour is wild. That's almost 60 grand a year.
Yeah, that's what he was making. But
Yeah.
it was one of those summer jobs too. You know what I mean? So and then
Like,
they hook you up with a hotel, free breakfast. Like they had to be really careful about how they
Position that
how
one.
they approach it. But
Yeah,
like, hey, bro, cotton still needs to get picked.
yeah, exactly. And Danny said he put his pride aside. Well, here's the thing about Danny was he always had 2 or 3 jobs, because he had kids, and like he loved his kids to death. So like he would spoil them. I remember his little ass, his little shithead son. Well, he was like 5 or 6 at the time, but he got him like one of those like motorcycle things, like a dirt bike, like he
Uh-huh.
lived for his kids, and that was one of the things that he did to support his children. Was You would just always have random jobs. I remember once, literally, I was walking and I saw him in a Uber, and he just picked me up. He was driving Uber. Motherfucker always had a job, you know, just for his kids, and that's why I'm sad because my friends keep dying. And Brian, you there?
Now Brian just dipped. Probably dropped.
I'm still here. The
Thankfully.
VIP of the record. I made it what it was. Brian showed up, told him what to rap. I wrote all the lines for him.
But like yeah, like with the recording process, I know this one I understand is you said it was like different. This initially didn't even wasn't even supposed to be an album. So like how did the creation of this record intertwine with King Cobra? Because I understand some of them are like leftovers that got reworked. There were some records
Yeah,
like
yeah,
files lost. Like how did that all play
yeah.
out?
That was like those are two completely different stories, but also the same story. It's like we had skeletons from skeleton beats and stuff from King Cobra that we're just gonna repurpose and make it like a. Do you play video games?
No, but I like it's like an add-on addition, kind of
Yeah,
a
expansion pack.
expansion pack. That's the word.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, King Cobra and well, we needed the money. We needed to go. For some reason, nobody was booking us on. It's just like this. What's really annoying is like, I feel like back in the day, you released an album and you toured on it for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
know? But it's like they constantly want you to crank out new material, and you do all this work, and then somebody somewhere is taking a percentage of your shit just so you can go on tour. And like, I mean, like, I'm lucky for it. It's like I'm complaining, like, you know, but we needed the money. I was tired. I was working for a warehouse actually for these Zionist, very virulent Zionist people. They basically what they did was they stole they bought stolen cell phones, and
Hmm.
um
Good for them.
well, bad for them because they're Zionists. And
Correct.
when October 7th happened, they had us all sit down, and they were like, we don't hate Palestinians, but they're like a rough people,
What the
you know,
fuck, man?
if
Jesus
you want
Christ.
to donate money to IDF, and a bunch, so is the warehouse workers, me, were mostly black, if not all. I think we had like this ogre white guy who was the only white dude there, but all the admin were like white Jews, and they didn't look at you. They would snicker and laugh about Gaza, and I remember this dude just making just a really terrible joke about um do you remember that hospital that was getting like bombed because it said they had like tunnels like
Yeah, yeah. That was like pretty early on in the whole app post October 7th
and
thing.
he had said something so fucking foul, dude. Like I was like, I gotta make a new album. I gotta get the fuck out of here. I can't I can't handle this because if I'm not, then I'm gonna catch a hate crime. Slap the
Mhm.
little yarmulke off his head. You know, it's just like he was he the thing, and you would say hi to him, you know, to be cordial, and they'd look straight at you and not say anything back. Like they were just so insular, you know. I mean, they're just like here's my thing is like they're doing white people shit under the guise of Judaism, so they get this like leeway.
The,
Um,
the idea that they aren't white is the biggest scam ever.
it's
That's
the
the problem.
biggest fucking.
'Cause I remember
Dude.
me and you talked about we used to talk about that. I'm like, brother, they're white. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I was raised. Like, I was as just a regular black guy or whatever. You know what I mean? Growing up, I was never taught the nuances of Judaism and what their culture was. Besides what I heard in school, you know, they're fucking white people.
They're
Mm.
white people.
And they're
I mean,
white people. So
okay, yeah, sure.
so they do white people shit.
Yeah, especially the ones that came after World War II, and because there obviously there's like Ethiopian Jews, whatever. Yeah, this and that. You know, 7%. You know, the
Well,
ones
and they try to castrate them, correct?
right chemically.
Chemically castrate them, like, and then you got these dumb niggas on the corner like Philly and Baltimore and whoever, who are the original man Jews. You know, but obviously they don't count because that's more a sector of like 5% of Islam shit than it is Judaism. But nobody wants to say that.
Also, I think that whole Hotep shit is a CIA opera, like is like definitely like it's the
If the dudes that were into it are more intelligent, I'd agree with you.
no, I'm saying they're being
Like controlled or like prodded on.
yeah, like they're like you're the original Jew, right? They're
You're,
like,
you're, the,
oh,
you're the original.
what?
Really? I got them. Well, you know, the big psyop now is the FBA movement, the Free Black Americans.
Yeah,
And that movement is a bunch of niggas in America saying, "Hey, you know what? We're actually not from Africa.
yeah, we're native,
We're actually indigenous to America." It's insanity.
and it's moved to the it's moved down to like Brazil and the Caribbeans and like,
And it started by this guy Tariq Nasheed, who's a former pimp.
who was actually like he was kind of the man during the Freddie Gray.
Yeah.
I know that guy. I've heard of him around that time.
But
And obviously Umar and shit. Yeah.
well, Umar doesn't take care of his kids, so we don't respect him anymore.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Dr. Umar. I mean, he's
That guy's a charlatan. But you know, like outside of even like just political expression on this album, I mean, something that's been pretty clear in a lot of the records that you guys have put out, like one of the reasons, Brian, why I think you're like so special is that you just have this like almost like unhinged approach to how you rap. Like you just pull no punches. You're super direct, gives your your music a lot of impact. You really wear your heart on your sleeve. And like as a creator, how have you been able to develop this like unflinching attitude towards expressing yourself? Because you talk about, politics stuff, you also talk about really personal things and your own kind of very open about your own faults and your own flaws. Like, how have you been able to develop that as an artist over time?
As an artist, I've been influenced by a lot of different writers who have had a lot of different approaches. But the ones that have stuck with me, mainly when we talk about hip hop, as cliche as it is, it's Tupac. And there's me and Tariq's like favorite new word doing this round of press is like, nobody's being esoteric. I'm not trying to wrap things up in a million metaphors. And Tariq will tell you it's not the way I think.
It's also not the time to be doing all that bullshit, man.
Well, it's not the time to be doing that. And he'll get to that in a second. But it's like it's not the way I discuss things. It's not the way I talk. And to his point, we're in a time in the world right now where things are so dire, where it's like I don't want to wrap everything up and make you have to explore the layers of what I'm trying to say. Nah, shit's fucked up, and this is what it is. And that's not really a part of my artistry. That's just how I talk. It's how I think. You know what I mean? But you listen to Marvin Gaye, What's Going On, or Stevie's Fulfilling This is Finale, and you realize that there's not a lot of ambiguity on those records. The records are just about what's going on, and they're being very explicit about it. And I think we've lost that in rap, man. It's like you're either not talking about shit, or you're putting it in so much bubble wrap that if the controversial shit dropped out of a window, it wouldn't break. And we're supposed to break shit.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah, the ghetto boys. Fuck a
The
war.
ghetto boys. The ghetto boys. And then wait, fuck the police. Like
Yeah.
don't say we were picking cotton and everything happened, everything turned blue and then everything turned red. I don't know what's going on.
Fuck
You know
both.
what I mean? Over like a beat that has no drums. You know what I mean? Like this isn't
Rapping
don't
over
know, man.
pipes and shit. You know.
Yeah, like I was torn from my mother, but I still survived. Like, nah, nigga, like, yo, free Palestine, fuck Israel, rap sucks, you niggas suck, America sucks, but me and my nigga are dope.
Yeah.
That's the message.
That's all we're trying to say.
What we're trying to say.
And, well, that goes to say where I'm the buffer between the more poetic stuff.
Well, yeah, when you listen to Tyreek's records, that's where you get like that. You feel the I don't know. Tariq, you take it. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, my shit's a little bit more, a little bit more esoteric, but people tend to not rap is a way more. It's easier to directly speak plainly in rap.
It's literally the whole point of the art form.
Yeah.
The whole point of rap is to distill cultural nuances within 4-bar structures so that everybody gets it.
Yeah. And from time to time, a clever thing happens, boom, But like, if you're trying to just really be clever about it, I think that shit's corny.
Yeah, just like, it's just like speak your truth, man. Like I approached this album. I remember I was like halfway through us finishing, and I was like, it's kind of like Tupac mixed with it's like prime Tupac mixed with like 98 Redman, like Doc's the name Redman. You know what I mean?
I like that. I like those. Yeah, because there's Redman at that, especially that time. He was just he could rap about anything in any way at any time. He was just like a complete he was electric.
He was a wild card, bro.
Yeah, wild card. That's it.
And Tupac was a master pockets, and Redman was a master pockets. They were very similar, low key, in a way that I don't think people have seen. But like 96 Tupac and 98 Redman, might be my favorite rappers of all time. And throwing obviously 91 Cube. You know what I mean?
I was about to say, yeah, we were the critics said we were dangerously getting close to Ice Cube.
Alarmingly.
I mean, soundly fucking alarm. Because actually, when I think of Cube, early 90s, with the Bomb Squad shit, it's not obviously a perfect comparison, but that is a very interesting comparison because it wasn't just the raps that were so bold and so in your face and also just so fucking dope. I love those records, but also the production, man. Bomb Squad at that time is that's the best, one of the best peaks of production in rap history to me.
Yeah.
It's up there.
100%. I mean, I've been
bro. People don't realize Bomb Squad made Poison. Bell Biv DeVoe's Poison. That's a Bomb Squad record.
Wait, Poison? Really? What do you mean?
Poison. Poison. Poison.
Is that a Bomb Squad? I thought that was Teddy Riley or whatever.
I know. It's a fucking Bomb Squad record.
Damn, that's crazy.
They did it without Chuck D, which is why they had to use a different name than Bomb Squad.
Oh, I do that
shit.
Because it sounds like a fucking New Jack City track.
Well, it does, but you think about it. Does it though? Isn't it insane? Like those clips was din, 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 din. It's harder than any New Jack City track. It's harder than any other Twink track.
That's a New Jack City, musically speaking, that's
musically. It's that, but it's like that on meth though.
Yeah, and you can New Jack swing on these nuts.
Yeah, and the funny thing about Cube is, as good as Bomb Squad did his production on America's Most Wanted, Death Certificate, which I would argue is better produced, is Cube. It's Cube and
You
the nigga. It's Cube and the nigga that wrote Friday. It's Sir Jinx.
Wait. Cuba's a producer?
Cube was producing. He was making beats. They all used to make beats back in the day. De La Soul,
That's true.
Tribe,
Yeah,
all
that
these
is.
niggas did that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy. And like yeah, like the way you guys approach music, I just find really fascinating because it is that like golden age rap elements, like even some like throwback funk pop elements, but then
I
it
mean, but
has this
listen to
really like abrasive, and then like synthetic edge to it. And Knives, like you mentioned it kind of earlier, and you've been open about this. Like you consider yourself like a composer. That was like actually an initial aspiration of yours to kind of soundtrack movies, things like that. Um, how would you describe your musical vision when it comes to like integrating using this like composer lens to integrate hip hop elements into this avant-garde blend with like electronic sounds and other kind of noise elements? How would you describe like how you approach that?
well, uh, history lesson is Nina Simone is my favorite artist of all time, and she wanted to be the first female black woman concert piano player, and they denied her. She applied for Juilliard, and they were like, "Nope, you're not gonna do it." Charles Mingus, my favorite bassist of all time, wanted to be a concert bassist. They said, "Nope, you're not gonna do that." And so they had to go to jazz, and they had to play jazz clubs, and they were forced to sort of adopt. I mean, I've always liked rap. Like rap's always been my thing. I'm sure like Nina Simone and Charles Mingus were already entrenched in the jazz culture. But I was sort of I was more or less rejected. I don't want to say rejected, but snubbed by these sort of higher institutions, because they see a black kid and not some weird autistic like white guy with like all these quirks and stuff, and they immediately labeled me as a producer, as a DJ. So I just kind of leaned into it, and I listen to music 24/7, any genre, any given genre, and I just put it where I can, you know just like as Nina Simone did. She would add like Bach pieces. If you listen to her live stuff, she would add Bach, um, and these like jazz tracks. You know what I mean? And Charles Mingus would do the same thing where he'd implement classical music into. I'm not saying I'm like these like they had it way worse. I mean, but institutionally, I was never really accepted. I never had the pedigree for it. Never went to school for it. Even though I can run circles around these little fucking like Juilliard fuckers. You know, I'm just in a bad mood, so I don't know. but
Fantastic.
but it's just yeah. So that's kind of just what happened. I try to integrate what I really wanted to do with what I have to do. As much as I love hip hop, I mean, I love hip hop. It's the first genre of music I ever got into. I didn't really even start getting into rock music until like high school.
Mm.
Right.
Maybe the Red Hot Chili Peppers, because they had
Oh
like
yeah.
you know what I mean, like just like the ones that would hit, like play on the radio or something like that. I didn't know anything about Linkin Park or any of that shit. Like but yeah, they on an institutional level, I was sort of always snubbed. So here I am. I can rap.
I mean, that's crazy too, because like the first time I heard King Cobra, I remember thinking, especially on the tracks that had no raps, that I really got uh like I don't know if you're familiar with Tim Hecker.
Yeah, love. We played with Tim Hecker actually.
Oh,
Funnily,
really? He's one of my
Me and you
favorite
did?
artists ever, and like yeah, so many of those compositions really felt like something he would do if he had your kind of whatever musical
yeah.
like taste. It
So
was just like that was beautiful. Like I was just like, damn, this is so layered. This is so like cinematic. Like,
on my first record, it's called "Ugly Nigga from Heaven." I have a song called "Hanker," which is a Tim Hecker um tribute.
Cover.
oh
Not a
wow.
That's a tribute. Super. Yeah, because you can't
Man,
cover.
sorry. I thought it was
Yeah.
a cover. My bad.
It was before like Dear Sudan or any of that. It was like just me self-releasing something into the world, and um yeah, no, but you know, like Tim is a white Canadian dude, and he gets to play these like super experimental shows with loads of grant money, and I don't you just can't help but be bitter, you know.
Mm-hmm. I
um
don't blame you.
You know, it's just no matter what they try to do this, you know, like oh we're bringing out the black voices, and then it's like oh but that's just rap. Like you don't want to like hear like what a black composer has to offer, or like I don't know.
And regarding this, like composer aspirations, is there like I did have a patron question actually from Joshua Davis, who was asking if you were wanting to pursue more of that work in the future somehow, movie soundtracking even.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, go in, man. Go in.
Yeah, but 100%. I opened a show for Boots. What's that motherfucker name that
Is it
did
Boots
Boots like the
Riley.
guy who produced
Boots Riley.
collabed with like LP or like Boots Riley?
Boots
No,
Riley?
Boots Riley.
The coup. And I was like, yo, man,
Oh,
if you got if you wanna, uh, ever wanna do like a film together, if you ever get greenlit. I mean, I've asked my roommate's a filmmaker. The film industry is dying. Like, and nobody's ever really given me a real chance. I've done like I did work for NPR for a little bit, making their soundtrack, and they gave me a chance. So there's a few far and few in between, but for the most part, the soundtrack it's like the same. It's like 9 out of 10 the same white dudes.
mm.
You know what I mean? Like we have I don't want to say too much because I don't want to risk the ire of my contemporaries, but
Oh
it's
yeah.
just you know
Mhm.
it's just like it's really it's a bit it's like discouraging, because I know
Yeah.
what I'm doing. I'm not some fucking. I mean, like I produce, I make rap beats. Yeah, I can do that. Like, and I enjoy it. You know what I mean? But it's like, like I'm pigeonholed into just being a
A rap
rap.
producer.
And at the very worst, people call me a DJ.
When people call you a DJ, that is awful.
That's
Yeah,
Because I'm
that
like, one,
stings.
he sucks as the DJ.
yeah.
Two, yeah, two, you're disrespecting his craft, and it's like
Not even. I don't even know how to DJ.
he doesn't. He literally doesn't know how to DJ. When people say that, they're like, "Yo, come here, DJ." I'm like, "Yo, like DJing, regardless of what's happened, the gentrifying of the art in the past, I don't know, 15, 20 years, like it has to do with like tempos, and it's not about genres and what music you like. Tariq
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
do
about.
that.
Yeah, there's a whole science
It,
behind
it's it's like bro, it's math. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So Tariq doesn't do that. Tariq is just and you can hear it coming out on this new record, obviously, where he's just showing you like what he really is. And it is fucked up that post COVID or post Trump or whatever you want to call it, we're living in a world where Tariq can make things so beautiful, and it's still hard for him to get like a look on the soundtrack.
And
Or
I know so many fucking filmmakers, dude. It's like baffling to me.
you know it's not. You know it's not baffling, bro.
What?
You know you're black.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's what it is. Yeah,
So
they're
so
hired,
so
they're
when
gonna
they
hire like their
fucking
cracker friend. They're gonna hire their cracker friend who went
they're
to
gonna
school.
they're gonna hire their hacky cracker friends to do nothing that moves anybody
Yeah,
and whatever.
this is
You know what I
down the
mean?
yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Nah.
when
That's what.
when we're talking about those songs that are like folk elements, punk, metal, even like what was the thinking behind making not only like incorporating the sounds into the records, but actually making these standalone tracks that are off some like are 7 minutes long? What was the purpose in kind of structuring the album in that way and showcasing it like that?
We're not a rap group. Like
Yeah.
Tariq is a musician in our um the way we see the world cannot just be expressed do like my 16 bars
Alone.
alone. It has to be
Otherwise,
more than that.
otherwise it'd be Brian Ennals.
Otherwise, it'd be Brian Ennals with a bunch of tracks produced by Tariq. That's not what we are. And I think it's hard for people to grasp that, like, we're really a group, man. Like, this is an organic thing. He's not a producer fulfilling a rapper's needs.
Yeah. I like
We're
literally make
artists.
beats from scratch for Brian. I don't make beat packs. And this dude, and like, this is a really good friend of mine. And he's like, man, you know, you could sell beat packs and do that. And I'm like, but that's not sustainable. First of all, you know, it's a waste of my time. And like, I want to work with Brian's voice or whoever rapper's voice I'm working with. I don't like Brian gives me something, I give him something back in return, and then he gives me
Yeah.
something. But
Look,
at this point in my life, I know where Brian's cadences sit and where his vote has like where his tonality is, where he so I can sort of already make something for him
Mhm.
made ish, and then I'll work around it. Does that make sense? A lot of producers, what they do is they have like 30 beats ready made, and the rapper's gonna choose it. And
Mhm.
I'm
and,
more of what's the word?
Like
I
made
don't
to
know.
fit. Yeah.
Fit,
and,
yeah.
and you'd be surprised at how many artists, rappers, folk artists, whoever, are just like against someone like pushing them into something else, someone producing them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they don't
And
like. I was
they
in a
don't
band.
like it.
Yeah,
The ego gets in the way crazy.
yeah, and that's one thing about Brian is he's like let's.
I'm
I mean,
egoless when it comes to music. Every other thing, I have a big ego, but with music, I'm down.
he's like yeah, let's do it, and then it worked out. I was in a band and I wrote everything in that band. I found two what would seem to be two very incongruent musicians. One was a hardcore punk drummer, and one was an R&B singer. And she did like acoustic R&B, and I was like, I think you would sound really fucking good. She did like acoustic neo soul, and I said, I think it would sound really good if you did shit over like heavy guitar, you know, and like I
Hmm.
put the guitar, the drummer, and they just like didn't really see the vision until start you know I'm just constantly underestimated, man. It gets fucking old after a while.
Except by me.
Except by Brian. Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the
Yeah.
thing. Like I've never this is my nigga. I remember this guy first started playing bass and I first met him. And he's playing a lick. And I'm like, I can rap over that. Cause I'm like a rapper. I'll rap
Mhm.
over some like dumb shit. That I'm not even conscious of how awful it is. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
was like,
That's
I
kind of
knew
that's where I'm like, all right, Brian, let me tone it down a little bit.
yeah,
Because Brian like
I knew
Spartan.
this kid. I knew this kid from the moment I met him, like was talented. And I've always been told the cliche, right? The cliche is if you're in a room and somebody's smarter than you fucking listen to the guy smarter than you and be thankful that you're there, right?
Mhm.
And that's how I've carried it with Tariq. Like he's as much as I get music, he gets it more. And he's carried us through these
You
past
get
five
rap.
years.
You get rap and you have
I'm a fucking let's not get twisted. Like I'm a rapper's rapper. Nobody's out rapping me.
yeah.
Um,
You get rap and you also sort of like you're able to like
I
really
I understand things, and I'm older now, so the ego part of it just isn't there. I don't need to be at the top of the bill. I don't need the critics to think I'm the dopest. I just want us to make money and get the message out there, man.
yeah.
And I mean, what's like that is really what makes you guys special too. It's like it's really rare a group like yourself, like the producer, composer, whatever you want to say, gets this much space to actually show off their talents, like
Oh yeah,
where it's not just like an interlude moment or like a little beat switch at the end. Like you're showcasing that. Like I know you mentioned or you tweeted at some point, Tariq, like the Phil Glass influence. I know you really um
That's my man.
yeah, like that movie soundtrack, like it really shows like that aspiration. You can see it, like it's not even an aspiration, you're already doing it. And
Yeah.
you know, like I'm curious about also these group of artists that you enlisted on these tracks, like the title track, Two-Headed Buffalo. Who, like, where did you meet them, and like, how did that like recording process work?
Tell them about the best song on the album, which is how do you pronounce it? The
Trevoga?
Russian record.
Trevoga,
Yeah, that's the best record.
And so
essentially.
you got like that Russian sample, like someone
Oh
singing.
no,
That's not a sample. That's a Russian woman singing.
Russian. That's my friend's wife.
What? Shit, her voice is incredible.
We don't do samples, bro.
I've never sampled in my life, bro. I don't know how to sample.
What the fuck? I mean, no,
Yeah.
that's not like I can actually see that. I'm still just torn on that girl being someone you know personally, because
Bro.
that's like a classic voice. Like you're like, oh yeah, this is like I'd hear this in a movie in like the 1940s, set in the night, like or like a really crackled ass, like really dusty ass vinyl, like
or after like James Bond beats the nigga's ass in the first 5 minutes,
yeah,
and then he turns around and shoots at the screen.
Yeah,
and that shit kicks in.
that's well. That my plan. The idea for that song was a USSR version of James Bond, as opposed to like the MI5 James Bond. That's what it was supposed to be.
So it's like the guys that get killed in every movie, like kind of how their lives are.
Yeah, like yeah, no, that's my friend Vlada. That's Vlada Vladakovich.
wow.
And she is an office worker who just knows how to sing really well. She's my friend's wife.
Okay, I have a couple quick hitter questions from patrons, and I know you gotta dip soon.
No, let's do it.
So this is for Knives specifically. It's from Rapman Gavin, who asks when will you be moving back to South Africa?
Shit.
When America collapses.
Well, first of all, he's in Cape Town, and when I lived in South Africa, I lived in Soweto, which is like 12 hours away. So it's just not even gonna work. And the people, I lived in the hood, like the hood. They didn't understand me then. They're not gonna understand me now. You know what I mean? I mean, they're very lovely people. I love the people that raised me out there, but they're like, they just don't they don't get me. I'm like a weirdo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, this is like the ghetto. You know? I mean, like, I just found out that there's these things in South Africa called zozos, and they're like basically like they're like houses built out of tin roofs. And I just found out that my fucking high school crush or my middle school crush lives in a fucking zozo. Like, I mean, and you like it looks like a favela, you know, the neighborhood where I grew up in, you know, like you know, in Brazil, it's all like tarps and all that shit.
Yeah.
So we're not even on the same side of the country. So
Right.
I don't know if I'm going back there.
Okay, I'll report that back to him. No.
Shout out my man Gavin though.
No, he's a good guy.
Ratman Gavin's a good dude.
Yeah, for sure. The next one is from a patron named Fick, and this one's for you, Brian. He's curious about a specific line from King Cobra.
Oh, I know. Okay, cool.
Oh, do you already know? He's like, okay,
No,
yeah, because
no,
this is gonna make you name
lines from
names,
that new one,
but
so
you
no.
know, we can cut this out if you're not wanting to say it. But he's like, how you getting block money when you from Indiana? He's wondering if this line.
I got it. Go finish the question.
He's wondering if this line is about any particular rapper, namely Freddie Gibbs.
There is, my man actually hit me up, a good friend of mine, and he was like, "Yo, why are you dissing Freddie Gibbs?"
So many people keep thinking that.
And I'm like, "Yo, it's not. It is." Let me just say this: I do not want one. Pinata and Banana are two of the 10 best rap albums of the past 10 years. Let me say that. It is not a diss to Freddie Gibbs. It's a diss to a rapper in the city, and I'll leave it at that.
Because we dissed a bunch of rappers in the city because we didn't think that King Cobra would go beyond Baltimore.
What do you think so?
And,
What's ironic is that everybody's heard it except them. They still haven't heard the records.
Yeah. Because there was the line like, the next you Butch Dawson. Butch Dawson's a rapper from Baltimore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, I didn't think you were talking about Freddie. One, because like it wouldn't even really make sense. I know a bit about his background, and I'm like, I think that sounds pretty legit. Like,
It is not yet. No way. I
I
wouldn't.
don't I don't question
I
anything
like Freddie.
about that guy.
I respect Freddie Gibbs. I'm sure I wouldn't diss him.
I was just
Yeah.
telling Brian last night. I've been a Freddie Gibbs fan before when he was with Jeezy and them and Big Crit.
Yo, I actually weirdly like not weirdly I guess, but like when I was first starting to become more into music, like downloading music all the time, going to my friends' places for like LimeWire and shit. I was on Freddie Gibbs in like 2008, like Oil Money, like
Yeah,
that
no, that's what I'm
EP.
talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like when he was on like skateboard, because I had some friends that were into like skating, like skateboarding and shit. Like that's where you would find these like sick like blog era raps, and like Freddie was popping then. Yeah,
yeah,
like
man.
crit them. Like I was pretty.
Crit was hot. That was Currency Wiz peak.
Yeah, Currency Wiz. Yeah, like those guys were like super well, like over, like super played.
Car Service was wild.
Yeah, no, a lot of people got into Freddie Gibbs after like Pitchfork, like, and all those like sort of dudes got a hold of Pinata, but
Yeah,
Well, it was the same guys that got into Cameron's Purple Haze, which like that tilted like rap criticism so hard. That Purple Haze is a classic and it's so amazing. Followed by the Clips, Hell Hath No Fury.
Mhm.
Everything was weird after that. It's like I didn't know who to take seriously. You didn't have any outlets that spoke for like black kids.
Wait,
and
why
explained-
are those specific albums like? Because I'm not familiar with like the reception in the
Oh
moment.
my god!
Because I was too young.
Those were Tariq. Were you around for those two?
I mean, I was a kid.
Yeah, bro. Well, let me tell you
I
this
saw the- I
exactly.
saw this-
Pitchfork, the first Purple Haze was the first rap album that Pitchfork really went for. They didn't do rap before that. Like it was like, it was indie. If it was rap, it was a big thing. Maybe Kanye West, whatever the case may be. This is before Kanye did his like 10 things.
Niggas were fucking with it though. It wasn't just white kids. It was like
Nah, bro. No, niggas were fucking with Come Home With Me. And what
Hell Hath No Fury. Niggas were bumping that shit, bro. What are you talking
bro,
about?
bro, that was super white. Niggas were fucking with Lord Willing. By the time Hell Hath No Fury came out, real niggas were bumping Gucci mixtapes. Are you crazy?
That's true.
Are you
Yeah, Hell Hath No
crazy?
Fury was really dark, like left field turn. Even
It
though
was
Lord
very-
Willing's still like, it was still like.
I know.
impressive, but yeah.
I can tell you niggas that are in jail right now that like when Lord Willing came out, it was on, but it took too long. And next thing you know, it's OJ the Juice Man, it's Gucci, whoever the case.
Yeah, they
may
had
be.
like a four. That was a four
That's
year
like
or
a 5
3 year
wait,
gap.
5 to 6 year gap.
And it was some label bullshit. I know that was the reason. That's why they were really pissed
Absolutely.
off. Like it had like an angry energy because they were just super shitty.
I was the
bad mood.
darkest person bumping Hell Hath No Fury. Trust me.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. And you also went to college during that time, so
That's
you
what was college was. This is a little bit after college, but yeah, you get what I'm saying Tariq, now, right? Like because you remember now the Gucci OJ era.
I remember it very, 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 very well because that was high school for me. You
Yeah.
know?
Niggas weren't bumping. Nah. It wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah, like and Boozy. That's another one.
Boozy, and then after that was Gotti, and then it was everything was up for grabs.
Mm.
Yeah, and then they did Kanye's.
Well, they gave the 10 to Dark Twisted
Dark
Fantasy.
Twisted Fantasy, yeah.
That's when white people really got into rap.
That's when white people. That's when white people started realizing that rap could be like
An
and
art.
it was
No,
art.
like rap can be artistic, actually.
Yeah.
It's like,
I
I was
mean,
like,
I always never cared about Kanye because by the time I heard Kanye, I'd already listened to like Operation Doomsday, and Food. So to me, I was like, why are people making this guy up to be like this crazy like genius? You know, like ever since I was a kid, because I first heard
What the fuck?
Demon Days, and Demon Days came around the same time that Kanye's first record.
That's the Gorillaz album, right?
Yeah, that's like Graduation was right around because I think Demon Days like 05, that's like late registration. Yeah, so it's like early Kanye.
Yeah,
I
for sure.
heard Kanye and I was like, this is a fucking hack. You know, because also Cannibal Ox was out at that time, and Brian says Cannibal Ox is white people rap. I don't give a fuck.
Okay, so when I say white people rap, I'm not. What I'm saying is it's not nigga rap. Like my niggas that are like, niggas that have the guns and the busting off, they're doing whatever they gotta do.
Oh, so you think niggas are out there listening to 808 and Heartbreaks?
No, nigga, I think they're listening to Dipset Volume 1 and G Unit and Locks. They weren't listening to fucking Cannibal Ox, you weirdo. What are you talking about?
I'm saying Kanye. I'm saying Kanye.
No, who said Kanye was black? I didn't say that.
No, I think that's not what you're saying.
Yeah, nah. Like, it's funny also. White people also love G Unit though, especially white suburban.
Bro, no. White people love G Unit, the Interscope records. They did not hear the mixtapes. There was no way to access them.
No, that's true.
There's no way to access them.
Yeah, no, like I'll be honest, I definitely love Kanye, but I was super young too, and like in a predominantly white area. I loved Kanye. I still think I love his earlier records a lot. Like I'm not gonna go against that, but I'll just say like post 2018 and then definitely post 2021, like after Donda, like I'm surprised. I'm almost impressed with myself, which is I should not be, but he had played a very personal. I had a very personal relationship with like his music. It made a lot of impact in my life, at least as a child. Mm-hmm. And
Me too.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised by how much I've been able to be like. I don't give a single solitary fuck about this guy anymore, and I'm so disgusted with him. I'm surprised by how much he was able to make me do that, because it was like I was defending. I was trying to be like understanding, and I'm like. I think it was like, it's not like it was the last straw because he said so many dumb shit, but I thought I understood where he was coming from or gave him some grace, but it was really after Donda where I was like, nah, you're actually like disgusting, man. Like, and you're just so far gone, and it gives me the heebie-jeebies now.
You know what disgusting? You know what disgusting me? He chose as a creative partner Ty Dolla $ign. Ty Dolla $ign might be the worst artist of the past 10 years.
I think
if you don't agree with me, we gotta. You tell me one significantly artistic thing or dope thing. Ty Dolla $ign, he's awful.
No, at best he like did the job of like some mainstream record, but I've always thought he's supremely overrated.
He sucks. It's not even overrated. He's like bad.
Okay, have you guys seen that clip? If not, I'm gonna send it to you because it's actually like it was right around when Vultures 1 came out. I saw this. It's like start of a video. Ty Dolla $ign. It's kind of almost like the D'Angelo Untitled vibe, where it's like screen like zoomed in on his face. He's like,
Tariq, you hate Ty Dolla $ign, right? He's awful, right?
Come on, man.
If you like Ty Dolla $ign, that would confuse me on so many levels.
It's like me saying I like Tory Lanez.
Yeah,
Tory Lanez is awful, but he's better than Ty Dolla $ign.
No, I disagree with that. I think Tory Lanez has like the one song I've ever liked by him, and it was called "Damn," and he's featured, or it's with Trina. And Trina's the reason I love it because she just kills that song. But like
Trina's amazing.
But like I've never.
I was so happy when she got on the Billboard female rapper list. That was good.
That I'm just like, how did you get famous? You know, Ty Dolla $ign. I'm just like,
oh yeah, I don't know. He must have like he has dirt on people or some shit. Okay, this is the last really important question I wanted to ask before we wrap up. Is it actually true that 87% of women can squirt?
Yes. In my experience, absolutely.
It's in your experience, or is that actually like? Because I've actually tried to Google this. I've never seen a number.
Well, you think it's anecdotal, but it's like, I mean, yeah. Because let me tell you this: it is true. I think, in my experience, and some women are embarrassed by it, and don't want to squirt in front of you. Some have never done it and are like scared by it. Tariq, what do you think about that question?
Like you said, niggas are lazy, man.
Yo, you get on that clip, man, and they're like, I gotta pee. And you're like, no, you're not peeing. You're gonna do that right here. And the next thing you know.
Now I have no comment.
All right, well, you know what? Cut that out then. I don't want to answer either.
Fine, no, cut the whole shit's cut out. This whole interview's off the record.
if nobody's gonna back me up on that, I don't want no parts of it.
Hey, just play the album. Just play the
Yeah,
album.
just play the album.
Play the best version. Just play it saying, "Hey, we love," and the cut black people.
Oh man. Okay. Well, yeah. No, this was a dope, really dope conversation, man.
This is
Like,
a dope conversation, right?
I really appreciate you guys coming on. Like, you both have such a giving the art form such a like a jolt of creativity, passion, humor, like everything you want. And I know like many listeners have been wanting you guys to come on for a while, so I'm glad we could do this. So thanks so much.
Yeah.
Hey, bro. Thanks for having us. It's like we've done a lot of podcasts and a lot of tours or whatever the case may be. But I think it's always like the first time, just because it's like me waking up and knowing somebody's interested in hearing more about music, whether it's you or whether it's your listeners. It's just dope, man. I just appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I gotta say.
It's dope, man. I'm glad you feel that way. That's how I hope, honestly, it feels.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Hey, you guys are just doing great shit. Love the new album. Everybody should go cop it.
They
And
should. And cop it on Bandcamp, please.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. That'll be in the description. Any other projects or tour dates or merch you want to call out?
No.
No, not right now. Everything's up in the air, for sure.
Okay. So people got to look out for that in the future. I'll put your socials in the description. And yeah, thanks you for coming on. Keep doing you. I'm excited for
So, Rick, you got
future
something
records
else?
from anything.
I said we just got signed to a U.S. Touring agency, so you'll probably be seeing us on more U.S. tours pretty soon.
Sick.
So far, we've just done Europe. So I don't know. That's it. No, not much to say. Just get the album, listen to it, hate it, love it.
Hey, love it. Just
You're not getting a King Cobra Part 2. You're not gonna get another God's Black Tears. It's always gonna be different. Every album.
It's not Kenny Cigarettes. It's not Dear from Sudan. Every time you listen to us, it's gonna be that time frame in a capsule.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what we do.
Yeah.
Word. All right.
All
Well,
right,
I'll
man.
leave it there. Thanks so
All right,
much,
well,
guys.
Be safe in Canada, man.
Will
All right.
do.
All right, bro.
Peace. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Rap Music Plug podcast. If you enjoyed this episode and want to not only support the show, but join the fastest growing community of like-minded indie rap fans, go to patreon.com, search for the Rap Music Plug podcast, and become a patron. You will gain access to an exclusive patron-only Discord that me and 70 plus people engage with on the regular, as well as other patron-only benefits such as bonus episodes, album recommendation reviews, early access to regular episodes, and much more. So if you have any questions about any of the Patreon stuff, or just want to keep tabs on the show, interact with me on rap music and all the great stuff that we can talk about, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at rapmusicplugpod, or shoot me an email at qlctv.podcast@gmail.com. You can also rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts and subscribe on YouTube and Spotify as well. But that's enough self-promotion for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Peace.